Broadcasting the information the mainstream media won't touch. This is The Richie Allen Show in association with DavidIke.com.
Now, mentioned in the Sunday View programme yesterday, my belief that the elderly senior citizens of this country are being demonised. Now, I didn't play to the gallery when I said that. It's something I meant from the bottom of my heart. I received a lot of correspondence yesterday and today, some from senior citizens who feel very strongly about it. Now, I had no idea when I did this yesterday, because I was talking about the Conservative government telling older people they've got to fend for themselves. But an organisation called the Resolution Foundation has been saying today pensioners are more likely than their predecessors to be working, own a home and have generous private pensions. The Resolution Foundation is a think tank. They say growth in pensioner incomes has been coupled with weak income growth for working age people. They are saying pensioner households are £20 a week better off than working age households. Why are they saying this? Is there any truth to it? Well, you'd expect me, the very least I could do is do a bit of cursory research, bit of summary research into this to find out, are the claims true? The claims are not true. They are not. I can tell you exclusively on the Richie Allen Show, exclusively for the independent media, this is complete and utter tosh. It's a lie. The Resolution Foundation are and have based their paper and their results and their bottom line and their calculations after housing costs are taken out of the equation. Their calculation is household income after housing costs. And before housing costs are taken into account, working age households, working people are still doing better than pensioner households. Now, this is the first time a think tank has come out and said the retired are doing better than working people. But they're wrong. It's nonsense. Let's not forget, they are not taking into account home ownership. Right? The Resolution Foundation is for income after housing costs have been paid. Oh, the average pensioner household is £20 better off. So why today, right across Sky News and the BBC, were there several debates, just in case you missed one, you see. Let me explain what they do. Sky News at 9 a.m. will have two people on arguing about this. In fairness, both sides of the story. Then they'll have another debate on the same subject at 11. Then at 1, then at 3, then at 5. Why is that? That's to make sure that they cover as broad a viewer, I suppose, base or listener base as they possibly can. Why? Because this is all about demonising the elderly. They want to get support through a multitude of projects like this, support for destroying the pensions and the benefits and reducing benefits of senior citizens. It's as simple as that. It's a multi-pronged attack on senior citizens. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, it's in people's minds. Demonising the elderly. I won't labour the point. Talked about it in Sunday View yesterday. Moving on. This should be worrying anybody who's sending sending a young man or a young woman to university. It's a report by the website Spiked. Now, they've carried out a comprehensive study on the state of free speech at British universities, and they found that 94% of institutions censor their students. Imagine, 94% of universities are censoring students. The 2017 edition of the Free Speech University Rankings, which was published on Saturday, showed that 108 of 115 institutions were given a red or amber ranking on issues relating to freedom of expression. The sorts of things going on, outright bans on speakers, outright bans on ideas or other materials, songs, newspapers, etc., All this is going on at universities across the country. Spiked have said the situation is so bad now, it's basically worse than it's ever been. When they began these rankings in 2015, 80% of universities at the time were classed as red or amber. Now, the deputy editor of Spiked Online is a guy called Tom Slater. He spoke with Sky News earlier today on this. This is the guy basically responsible for the report. Listen. Should we try that again? Yes, it is a Monday, isn't it? Monday. Try it again. This is Tom Slater, deputy editor of Spiked Online.
I think we can't lose sight of the idea that this is a broader problem that we have. It would be very easy to just kind of scapegoat student leaders as being this kind of uniquely intolerant bunch who have just set about completely destroying the university. The fact of the matter is they function in institutions. Universities collaborate in a lot of this kind of censorship as well as a broader society that often sees speech as harmful and sees offensive ideas as somewhat of a threat. But I think that going forward, one thing that students can really do to challenge this is to really take on those institutions that don't represent them, because we can say, of course, students live in the real world. I don't think the NUS lives in the real world. I don't think they're really connected with students. Their democratic mandate is tiny across the board. And I think it's time that students recognise that and recognise that they really need to strike out for free speech. And I think that means striking out against universities that censor them, but also against the NUS, which from no platform policies through safe space policies to all this kind of fancy dress nonsense are pushing this kind of stuff, and it really holds students in contempt. I think we need to see a bit more of a fight back against that.
It's unbelievably dangerous. It's far bigger a story than you would think today listening to the MSM. Now, he talks about safe spaces in universities. What does that mean? You might know, you might not know. Well, this came in sometime in early 2015. We covered it on this programme. Safe spaces. Safe space, safer space, positive space. What are they? What do they mean? Well, they were terms brought in to show that a university, a college, a lecturer or a teacher doesn't tolerate anti-LGBT speech, doesn't tolerate hate speech, doesn't tolerate harassment, doesn't tolerate violence, creating a safe space for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender students. This came in 2015. A lot of controversy. We talked about it at the time. We talked about it being a way of sanitizing speech, completely taking out of universities any sort of debate about anything. There is an opinion you must have on this issue. If you don't have it, you're in breach of somebody's safe space. Now, Tom Slater, the deputy editor of Spiked Online, he had plenty to say about safe spaces.
The moment a university becomes a safe space, it ceases to be what it should be. I mean, insofar as universities have always been constituted as places of unfettered debate, of seeking the truth, you can't do that if certain ideas are off the table, if you tell students that they're too vulnerable for debate. And I think the other section of it is that this whole kind of safe space ideology is really debilitating to students who do want to be political, who do want to rage against the world, rage against the status quo. The idea of safe spaces is that students are basically too vulnerable to be able to do that. So I see the sort of censorship we're seeing, which I think is a thing, and it's not just fancy dress, it's systematic and across the system, is completely undermining the point of a university, which is a place of learning, but also a place that students come of age, understand the world and work out how they want to change it as well. It undermines all of that.
I like Tom Slater, but universities have not been for a long time a place of learning and a place of debate. They are places of brainwashing. Now, Atos Miracles tweets, Richie's just made good points about the larger plan behind current demonising of retired people. First came for the disabled, now the elderly. Do have a listen to yesterday's Sunday View, which is on YouTube. I got into it in more detail there. Luga tweets, why do we pay stamp and taxes for the government to maintain and look after society? These creatures treat us all with contempt. Keep the tweets coming in to @RichieAllenshow. Jason tweets, Radio 5, your call today with Nicky Campbell. Have pensioners got it too good was the title of the phone-in. Absolutely spot on, Jason. I heard that this morning. Dichotomous bullshit, pitching young against old, says Jason. This is, you see, as I said, it's multi-pronged. Multifaceted is what it is. Multifaceted. To turn people away from the elderly, who have all the information, who carry all the news, who know how to build things, who know how to grow things, who know things about food. I went into this yesterday, I won't do it again. JP tweets, the UK government are going after pensioners to cut and take homes. The care services need cash cows, killing you softly, says JP. Plenty of tweets about debate and diversity at universities. Debate and diversity at universities. Go to twitter.com, put Richie Allen Show, all one word, in, and you will see what other people are saying. Now, we remember in late 2015 the Syrian boy Aylan Kurdi. His death became international news for weeks. Dreadful picture of a young boy washed up on a beach. I remember he was lying face down, and he became the symbol, I suppose, of the migrant crisis. A lot of people have strong opinions about it. That's fair enough. I respect everybody's right to have an opinion. What I found interesting was, over the weekend, his aunt, a woman called Fatima Kurdi, who's in Canada, interestingly enough, she spoke with RT. What she said about the media coverage of the Syrian situation might surprise you. Fatima Kurdi is the aunt of young Aylan Kurdi. Have a listen.
Media, all what they're covering, that President Bashar killing his own people, to my opinion and those people's opinion, they said, why they only say Bashar? It does not make sense. There is so many rebel over there. They're fighting and killing my people. Nobody report about raping. Nobody report about... It's terrible. It's terrible story. Personally, I heard so many heartbreaking story. My point is not I'm defending President Bashar or supporting anybody here. The point is we have to end the war in Syria. I would say I encourage the government in each country to help find the political solution, no military solution, no more killing in my country, and bring Syria to peace so you don't see those refugees in your country. And until that solution is going to happen, we need to help those suffering refugees.
I think she's very good and makes some very good points there. Fatima Kurdi, the aunt of young Aylan Kurdi, the 3-year-old Syrian boy washed up on the beach back in 2015.